Hi friends, Shaylee Ninehouse here. I'm the clinic director for 4Paws Acupuncture, and I want to talk to you about adrenal cortex stress profile testing. That's just a fancy word for cortisol testing, which is what I'm doing today, which is why I am spitting in a vial 5 times today, as noted in my my catchy little one-liner there. So I am basically what I'm doing today is I get these little vials. I have a little kit, a little cortisol awakening test kit. It's actually a stress profile kit that we do here in the office as part of our functional medicine program or line of functional medicine testing that we do here, because I want to test where my cortisol levels are. And so what'll happen is you spit into this little vial like 5 times a day. So you do it when you wake up in the morning, you do it 30 minutes later, and then between the hours of 9 and 11, 1 and 3, 5, and, oh wait a minute, 9, I'm sorry, so 30 minutes after you wake up, and then between 9 and 11, between, I don't know, 3 and 5, and then there's one late at night as well. So from like 10 p.m. until midnight. So there's 5 different times of day that you have to spit into this little vial so that it can test your cortisol levels at different times of day. So isn't that interesting? Like when you go to your regular doctor and you're like, hey, you know, they say that they determine it necessary to test your cortisol levels, they'll usually take a blood test. But the thing is that your cortisol it actually goes like this throughout the day. So where it's at in the morning at a fasted state is going to be different from where it's at, say at 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. or 5 p.m. or even later on in the evening hours. It's going to differentiate. So that is why our functional medicine test tests at 5 different times throughout the day so that we can see your cortisol levels and how they vary throughout the day based on, you know, what you're eating and all of these things. So it's been pretty simple. The first couple I had to have a milliliter of spit, and then in the other 3 tests that I'm doing, you actually have to have 3 milliliters. So it needs a little bit of liquid there in order to do the test. But isn't that neat that they can actually look at your saliva and they can see your hormones and what your hormones are doing, at least what some of your hormones are doing. And it's actually pretty important and pretty cool to know what your cortisol levels are doing, because it actually affects a lot of different systems throughout your body, including your energy. It includes you know, how you're sleeping at night, how you remember things. It determines the inflammation levels in your body. It's a big determining factor for blood sugar, things like that. So when you think about cortisol, you can actually think of it as like an anti-inflammatory hormone as well. And it gets triggered in events like when you're in fight or flight, or when you have like a stressor, like an injury or an infection or things like that. It increases throughout your body. So it's important to know that, because if your body's actually not producing enough cortisol, then here's the trigger word, you know, that people tend to kind of get excited about nowadays, is adrenal fatigue. So it helps us to determine whether or not your adrenals are working and functioning at their highest capacity as well. And that determines a lot of function in your body as well. So it is important to know where your cortisol levels are. I know that's a buzzword throughout the industry now and throughout social media and all of that stuff. And I'm stressed, my cortisol levels, they must be so high. And maybe they are, and maybe they're not. Maybe you don't actually have enough cortisol, and this is causing some functions in the body to not work really great either. So super important to know. If you want to know more, if you're interested in having your cortisol levels tested here at 4Paws Acupuncture and Integrative Medicine, we are happy to help with that. It's not a hard test at all. It takes the course of a day, just, you know, spitting in a vial a couple times, and it'll tell us a lot about what's going on in the internal environment in your body. So please let us know if you have any questions, or if you'd like to set up a free consultation to come in and discuss these things with us. We are here to help, more than happily answer any of your questions, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.